Hey, what's good? Everyone knows that AI is here and it's not going anywhere anytime soon. We also know that AI is good for fast, cheap labor, making humans obsolete in many professions and not just the artsy ones. In this video from Economy Media, we're going to be taking a look at how AI is creating a white-collar bloodbath. Before we get into it, remember to go to coconutjustice.com to get you some clothes that I think would look good on you. Let's go. Yep. AI is coming for us all, and unfortunately, a lot of us have been sleeping at the wheel. And it's not new either. Technology in general, not just AI. When I worked in advertising in Chicago, I had a couple friends that were working with McDonald's. McDonald's is headquartered just outside Chicago, and they have this one restaurant that they have where they do a lot of testing and just trying to work out efficiencies and stuff like that. So it's kind of like a testing ground, like not play area, but if you're into delivering fast food, stuff like that, they have this building that tests different strategies out. So all that to say, my friends were working on the interface of the McDonald's thing where you just walk in and touch what you want and there's no one there. You know, you do your own order, you do your own credit card swiping and all that stuff, and then the machines go and make the food and then you go. And so using robots and AI and technology to take over jobs for humans has been happening. So it'll be interesting to see how Economy Media warns us about what's happening with AI. AI is going to damage a lot of people's lives, and let me say it like this: if AI is used without the greater good in mind, it will create a situation where it's not, the juice is not worth the squeeze. You know, if everyone is not going to have a job, what are we doing? What are we going to do? Anyway, let's see. Economy Media. Let's go.
Is changing faster than ever. According to a study by the World Economic Forum, nearly a quarter of all current professions will change in the next 5 years due to AI.
Half of entry-level white-collar jobs disappearing and 10 to 20% unemployment in the next 1 to 5 years.
The tech sector is already being hit, but this will spread to many other sectors of the labor economy.
Tech has already been hit, and other industries are just months away from massive cuts.
Even the CEOs of the largest AI companies in the United States are warning about the potential consequences.
CEO of an artificial intelligence company warns that AI is about to wipe out millions of jobs in the next few years, even calling it a bloodbath.
The effects of this labor revolution could bring significant consequences, potentially leading to unemployment rates never seen before.
It's not just tech. The CEO of a major AI company says could wipe out half of all the white-collar starter jobs, possibly causing unemployment to soar as high as 20%.
So how could AI eliminate nearly half of all white-collar jobs? The accelerated advancement of artificial intelligence is transforming the global job market in unprecedented ways. What was once limited to repetitive manual tasks or data processing has now evolved into tools capable of executing complex cognitive functions that were historically the responsibility of entry-level administrative workers.
Use cases for AI continue to grow. There is one industry leaning hard into the technology: customer support.
A report by McKinsey & Company estimated that generative AI could automate activities that currently represent between 60 and 70% of the working time in certain office occupations. The most vulnerable positions are those focused on routine information processing, rather than human judgment, empathy, or interpersonal skills. For example, in the customer service area, AI-powered chatbots already handle more than 85% of first-level support requests in large tech companies, up from 30% in 2020. Similarly, law firms are using tools like case text to conduct legal research and draft contracts in minutes, tasks that previously took a junior lawyer hours.
At a fraction of the cost of a human lawyer, Browder says he is able to use his software to help everyday Americans battle legal issues, such as traffic.
This is the part where I'm not. So they're going to be taking lower level jobs. Can it be a benefit to society that you don't have to wait a day or two rather than getting the information instantly? That'd be fine. But again, what are we going to do with the people that we replace? And the more efficient AI is never going to be worse than it is today, and it's pretty incredible today. So when you think of a lot of these entry-level jobs that are going away, then what are we going to do with the people that are coming out of college? Remember how you guys say that to get a good job and, you know, have fulfill your dreams, all that stuff, you need to have a job. What if there's no jobs to be had?
Tickets and evictions. So far, he says his company has helped in more than 1.5 million cases and saved his clients millions.
But then also at the same time, like you look at this and you know, if you're a go-getter, let's say like this, if you're a go-getter, you might be excited that AI is happening, but then you have to worry about, like, there's going to be people left out in the streets, and look at how we're treating the homeless people now. Look at how we are treating the people that aren't necessarily, how can I say that? There's some people that are go-getters, they're thinkers. There's other people that are not, that they're not that, you know. There's some people that are quite happy if they have a job, they will go to that office, they will do the job, and then they go home. You know, they don't want to push the envelope. They don't want to, you know, run for office. You know, there's some people out there that are just happy maintaining, you know. If you take their jobs away, what are we going to do with those people? But then on the flip side is AI technically is making society a little more efficient, you know, just like this lady said. You know, there used to be a younger lawyer type of person that would take a couple of days to do the thing, and AI is creating these forms in just minutes, if even minutes, you know. It's making society efficient, but what are we going to do with the folks that aren't programmers, that aren't, you know, business leaders, that aren't that? You cannot be in a position of leadership without worrying about everyone. A country is as strong as its weakest link, and we have a lot of weak links. We need to, before we go down this path, we need to really take a look and communicate ideas and see how we can leverage this for the betterment of the entire society.
Of dollars.
A report by the World Economic Forum projected that by 2027, approximately 83 million jobs could be lost globally due to AI and automation. Most concerning is that the majority of eliminated jobs are entry-level or junior roles. Likewise, Goldman Sachs estimated that 300 million full-time jobs could be affected by generative AI, with a greater impact in developed economies due to their reliance on office work. In the US, the report identified that up to 46% of tasks performed by entry-level employees could be automated in the next decade. In concrete terms, if these projections are fulfilled, between 10 and 12 million entry-level office jobs could disappear in the U.S. alone, considering the current size of the administrative workforce. And
If they haven't already, well, not all of them, obviously, but there are some companies out there that can afford AI, that will leverage AI. It's a company, you know. Can't really blame them. You can't blame a company for acting like a company. But we need to figure out a responsible way to move forward with this stuff.
Of large companies in 2024 and 2025 reflects this transformation.
All right, the layoffs that are rippling through the tech industry aren't showing any signs of easing.
Oh, and AI now can write code, you know, so coders should be feeling a little bit uneasy, because you can go on ChatGPT. I've done it. Go on ChatGPT and I ask ChatGPT, hey, I have an idea, you know, as a test. I said, I want to build an app that does like this. Can you write code? And it came out with code. I didn't necessarily run it because I didn't want to go that deep, honestly. But yeah, it's writing code. It's drawing pictures. It's writing letters. It's doing all of this stuff. So imagine having a bunch of data, and instead of needing a data analyst to take a look at the data, you just feed it into ChatGPT or something and then ask it whatever questions you want. And then, you know, it's there. It's there, you know. It's going to be scary.
The latest tech giant to do so, the company announced it will cut about 3,900 jobs, mainly in its IT services segment.
Companies like IBM, Deloitte, and Accenture have announced pauses or significant reductions in junior-level hiring. The CEO of IBM stated that the company planned to halt hiring in roles that could be replaced by AI, especially in human resources and administrative support. These roles represented about 26,000 employees within the company. Similarly, Accenture announced in its 2024 fiscal report the cut of 19,000 jobs, mainly among non-billable and entry-level staff, while increasing its investment in training and deploying generative AI. Even in sectors like finance and marketing, junior analysts are being replaced by AI tools that offer faster, cheaper, and more scalable solutions.
When the iPhones came out and the cameras were really nice, and I know in Chicago they did this because a friend of mine was a photographer for Chicago Tribune. I believe he did some for the Sun Time too, but reporters were given iPhones and they ran out, and they didn't necessarily have to hire a photographer to go take pictures of whatever was happening. So these cuts have been happening for, I want to say my buddy got laid off from the paper as a photographer like 20 years ago.
The collapse of entry-level jobs has also affected internships and training programs, which have traditionally served as gateways to the professional market. According to the National Association of Colleges and Employers, the number of internship offers from Fortune 500 companies dropped by 22% between 2022 and 2024. In the tech sector, the decline was even greater, around 30%.
And let me say this. I know the community that I come from. I know probably not all of them know what Deloitte is and stuff like that, because Deloitte doesn't come into our community to look for workers. Deloitte is a company that will send out their what is it that they're called? Not contractors, but advisors, whatever the word it is that I'm looking for. They have all these people that will go into different large companies and do a certain type of, whether it's project management, something that has to do with running a large business. So you don't have to hire your own team, you know? And so basically, yeah, Deloitte is just a bunch of really well-educated, smart people. they're laying off a bunch of people. They're laying off a bunch of smart people from the community that I don't come from. They, there's a certain look. I think I can say that. There's a certain look that is common within those types of companies. Not necessarily just Deloitte. I'm not trying to say that they're racist or anything. I'm not saying that at all. I'm just saying there are certain communities that have well-funded education programs that then help you qualify for jobs that Deloitte might have. So if they're not even hiring smart people if they're laying off whatever it was that she said, 20%, 25% of their workforce that is smart people, there's going to be a lot of smart people just sitting there, So what are we going to do with them? They can band together and start their own company, but then, they might get bought out or whatever. I don't know. I'm just saying that the fact that these companies are slimming down their staff and they're not really worried. They're worried about the bottom line. They're not worried about you paying your bills or you feeding your kids or anything like that. So, maybe we'll get into this a little bit more, but my coaching to you is take care of yourself. The same way these corporations are taking care of themselves, they got people who are leveraging AI and all that stuff. If that's what you do, leverage AI to benefit you. Like for me, I'm leveraging AI to do away with all the business people that I think are a waste of time. Same way they think that they can go out and get an artist to do all this work for free and all this other stuff super cheap, and you should feel lucky you have a job. I think leveraging AI to do away with CEOs and middle management, that the only reason that they have that job is because they knew someone, and now they're acting out of pocket because, for whatever case. There's a lot of C-level managers out there, or middle managers, that get off on having that little bit of power. And it's hilarious because it's not real power. You're not the owner. And according to this video, y'all about to get laid off anyway.
4%.
A blunt new warning for American workers. A tech CEO says artificial intelligence is about to wipe out millions of jobs.
This decline is directly related to
artificial intelligence.
4%.
We're going to go back just a little bit more, but I also wanted to point out that all of this stuff is happening in Hollywood, and for as much hate as Hollywood has been getting lately, there's a lot of people out there that work on these projects that are, all of these jobs have been sent overseas already, and now you're adding AI to the mix. And so, there's a lot of people. They're saying millions of people are going to be getting laid off. It's going to be creative. It's going to be white collar. It's going to be entry level. Imagine trying to pay off your school loans and you have zero job. All these people are going to be fighting for jobs at, Starbucks and McDonald's and car wash and stuff like that.
In the tech sector, the decline was even greater, around 34%.
A blunt new warning for American workers. A tech CEO says artificial intelligence is about to wipe out millions of jobs.
This decline is directly related to the growing use of AI in internal processes. Companies are finding that young workers, once essential for tasks like transcription, data labeling, or content moderation, are no longer indispensable. As a result, fewer and fewer graduates gain the experience needed to advance to intermediate positions, creating bottlenecks in long-term professional development. In addition to eliminating jobs, AI is also contributing to wage stagnation in administrative roles. According to the Federal Reserve Bank of San Francisco, real wage growth in entry-level professional jobs fell by 1.8% in 2024, in contrast to a 2.4% increase across the overall economy. This stagnation is partly due to the oversupply of candidates competing for an ever-shrinking number of openings, as well as the corporate preference for AI-based solutions.
Many young people across the country are finding it difficult to find summertime work.
The labor market also posing a big challenge for young people looking for a summer job. A new report suggests there's been a steep decline in the number of temporary jobs available.
Economists also warn of a growing polarization of the labor market. While advanced technical and executive positions remain in high demand, and low-wage service jobs persist due to their physical or interpersonal nature, the middle tier, traditionally filled by young college graduates, is disappearing. AI is not only increasing human productivity, it is directly replacing it. Whereas previous waves of automation, such as spreadsheets, supported human work, generative AI can perform tasks from start to finish without human intervention.
And it reflects a troubling increase in businesses and companies opting to cut back human tasks in favor of technology.
A 2024 MIT study found that the adoption of AI led to a 19% drop in job postings involving repetitive cognitive tasks, while job postings for AI engineers and product managers rose by 11%. This asymmetry...
I just had this thought. They're talking about young people not being able to get work. Imagine being older. Imagine being an older person that it was tough for you to find a job to begin with because corporations don't necessarily hire older folks. They would rather get someone, young and way more energy, I guess, and way more. They're willing to take a lot more abuse. And abuse is kind of a strong word, but they're willing to take more workplace mistreatment than an older person would. Just because, we don't have time for that shit. And it's not even trying to have a bad attitude. It's just that they're literally trying to get you to work as much as possible and pay as little as possible. And young folks are, for the most part, they just jump in. They're like, all right, cool, let's do it. Yeah, it's it's gonna get so bad.
Suggests that for every new job created in AI, 2 to 3 junior jobs disappear or are never posted. The disappearance of entry-level jobs poses considerable macroeconomic risks. These positions are essential for skill acquisition, upward mobility, and the renewal of human capital at intermediate and senior levels. Without them, the talent development pipeline could collapse, leading to a shortage of qualified personnel in key sectors within a decade. Moreover, rising unemployment among graduates could lead to a decline in consumer spending, higher default rates on student loans, and increased demand for public subsidies.
The unemployment rate for people between the ages of 22 and 27 with at least a bachelor's degree is consistently higher than the national rate.
All of which would put pressure on the broader economy. A projection from the Congressional Budget Office warned that if the current trend continues, student loan delinquency could rise from 7.8% to 12.5% by 2027. The emergence of artificial intelligence as a substitute for entry-level administrative work is one of the...
Then why even, you know what I mean? Why even go to school? You're not going to be able to pay that tuition, and it's crazy how expensive they make school. So it's heartbreaking, especially when I talk to young creative people that don't know where to go or should I go to school, do all that stuff. It's hard to encourage people to go and get themselves into so much debt. And for what? For the promise of maybe potentially having a job that you're probably going to get replaced in the next few weeks anyway. You're not going to be able to pay those bills off.
disruptive forces in the modern labor market. While AI offers efficiency and cost savings for companies, it also threatens to dismantle the foundations of professional mobility for millions of workers.
All right, kids. I'm sorry. I was hoping to have better news. The good news is that we're aware of it. The bad news is that we have people in Congress, we have people in the government that can't even fix their own email. They don't know how Facebook ads work. And now AI is just coming to take over, and we see that like judges used ChatGPT to make decisions on court cases. We see where corporations just don't care. The bottom line is we have to make money. We have to make money. And then they're convincing kids to go out and go to school so they can qualify for the jobs. They go in debt. They qualify for these jobs that, no, just kidding. You don't qualify. We're going to do that in AI or overseas or. And it just seems like the government, people in the government they're just not taking this as seriously as it is. So when the world economy crashes again, what are they going to do? They're going to use your money to bail out these knuckleheads again because they continue to ruin the world. And then they're like, oh no, it's progress. Is it though? Is it though? Why don't we fix society? The homeless people that you guys always complain about, the mentally challenged or the mentally ill that you guys keep complaining about, all that stuff. Why don't we work on that? We invest in our communities, especially the ones that don't get much attention. And then we move on to the next step. But y'all just keep moving in this direction with no thought as to what we're going to do with the people we're leaving behind. I'm a firm believer in if you aren't trying to take care of everyone, you shouldn't be in government. You shouldn't have the power over anyone. Humanity over profit. Otherwise, you just can't. We can't keep moving like this. We can't keep leaving people behind. We can't keep leaving people to pull themselves up by the bootstraps, but leaving them with absolutely no direction. It's just, I don't know. It's against everything that I've ever learned. When I was a kid, we were very much into going to church and learning about all that stuff. And there's a lot of people that have proven they like to say that they're Christian, but we have a lot of people that don't believe in Christianity or don't believe in. They use Christianity to benefit themselves, but they don't live by those rules. And then I went into going back to religion. You're supposed to take care of your neighbor. You're supposed to check in on them. You're supposed to honor your father and your mother. There's a lot of things that folks are just not doing. And then my next step was, after, being religious for most of my childhood, I went into the military, no man left behind, and they were the team and all about the platoon and the country, and everything was about the country. And then when you come out, you find out that the country don't give two shits about you. We need to change the culture of this country. This culture about I win the whole thing and you lose the whole thing, because people are suffering and people will continue to suffer. And a bunch of you knuckleheads keep voting for these folks that are just, they don't care. They don't care if you struggle. It's not their problem. Anyway, things are going to get tough. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Share it with each and every one of your friends. And if you want to come hang out with me and watch videos while I work on creative projects, hit that subscribe button. Then change the little alert icon so it says all. That way, every time I come out with something new, you'll be alerted. Don't forget to go to coconutjustice.com to get you some dope gear. And with that, I'm out.
Coconut Justice.